Hello again. So this is going to be the solution for problem 2 for problem set 3. So here it asks, write a C program which reads the date for month slash the day slash the year, and then it prints the number of days since 00 slash 00 slash 000. Note you can assume that every month has 30 days, so every year has 360 days. So here's a sample input. So here it gives us the third month, the fourth day, year 2001, and then the sample output here. So we take that 2001 and then we multiply that by 360, and then we add in 30 and then plus 3. So and then we print the result back, and that will be the solution. So here it says, note you can use the str2l function, which stands for string to long function, to convert a string to an integer. And here it gives us the interface of the function. So you give it the string that you want to convert, and then null, and then the base that you want to convert into. So to convert from, sorry. So that's 2001. We're going to interpret that as if it was written in decimal and not binary or hexadecimal or whatever. So basically the easiest way to think about this problem is to get a string from the user. So it has to be string, right? Because there's this 2 slashes here, they are not numbers. And then after we get this entire string, we're gonna decompose this big string onto smaller strings. So the first string will contain 03, the second string will contain 04, and the third string will contain the year, which is 2001. And then finally we convert each of those 3 strings into integers, and then we add those integers according to this definition here, and then basically we print out the result. So those are the steps that we're gonna follow. So let's copy that sample input there and start our program with that. So I'm gonna create a variable which is an array called date. Now date will contain the date that will be taken from the user. So for now I'm gonna put in a date, a constant date here to test with, and once I'm sure that my program works fine, then I'm gonna take that date from the user. So the way that we're gonna extract these numbers here is, well, I'm gonna do it 2 different ways, okay? There's an easy way and there's a hard way. So I'm gonna start with the hard way, which I've just explained. And basically I'm gonna get the first 2 letters. So that's letter at index 0 and that's letter at index 1. And I'm going to take the second 2 letters that are at index 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so I'm going to extract those strings. The same way I did on problem 1. So let's create, so of course this is a string, so it has to have that it has to have that open and closed and square brackets there, and I'm gonna give it like size 20. Well, it'll never reach that size, but well, why not? And now I'm gonna declare a variable that will be called, let's say, days, and I'm gonna add in str there to denote that that is a string. Okay, so string day, I'm gonna give it size 5, and then I'm gonna declare another variable, another string, and that'll be months string, and then year string, and I'm gonna give that size 10. Now the next step is to extract the strings from the date, okay, and put them onto the dates. Now we're gonna use the str and cpy function to copy from the date variable onto the other three variables. So the first destination is days string, and the source is the date. And how many characters are we interested to copy? Well, 2 characters, the 0 and the 3. So 2 characters there. And then we're going to do the exact same thing for variables, except we're going to change the starting point. So the date starts at index 0, but for the month it starts at index 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's index 3. So that's +3 there. And for the year it starts at index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's index 6, so +6. Cool. Now if I try to print all of these 3 strings to make sure that everything went well, I'm going to use the put function. So let's give it the days string. And of course here let's change this to month strings and year string. So month string and the year string. And let's print those 3 variables. So the second one is month, and the third one is year. Now let's try that. And well, as you can see, it worked. So that's 03 and that's 04, and that's, well, here for the year we have to get 4 characters and not 2. So let's replace that with 4. And as you can see here, we have 03, the first line, 04, the second line, and then 2001. So we've been able to successfully extract the letters from there. So we have to add the \0 at the end of each strings in order to ensure the string termination. So, well, let's do that. So for days string index 2, we'll take \0, because we have index 0 and index 1 are reserved for the 0 and the 3, and the final character, which is at index 2, must have \0. And the same thing with the other 2 variables. So month string takes \0, and then the year strings takes \. For year we have 0, 1, 2, 3, so that's 4. Okay. Now if we try to print, as you can see, it works well. So that's 03, 04, and then 2001. Now the final step to get the result, to get the result for the problem statement, is to convert these strings onto integer and then get the sum of them. And if we get back to the problem statement, there's the function here str2 long, which will do that for us. Now I'm going to create 3 variables. So the first one will be dates. Well, let's spell that correctly. So days, and then months, and then years. And these 3 variables will contain the conversion from our strings to integer. So days will take str2L, which stands for string 2 long. And as you can see, it takes 3 parameters. The first one is the strings that we want to convert, and the second one is a pointer to a pointer. So, well, that's not, we don't care about that for now. And then we have the third one, which is basically the base, and we work in base 10. So days takes the days variable, and it takes null, and then it takes 10. And the same thing for the other variables. Except that this becomes month, so months, and this becomes years, and this becomes month string, and this becomes year string. Cool. Now let's print those three variables to ensure that they contain the right answer, the right result. So let's deactivate those lines for now, and let's try to print f3 integers. And those three integers are days, months, and year. Now let's print that, and as you can see, we have 3 for 2001, so that's correct. Now, instead of printing these three variables, we're going to take the sum of years times 360 plus months times 30, and then plus days. So I'm going to create a variable called result, which will contain the days plus the months times 30 plus the years times 360. And for here, of course, just like in mathematics, so the priority is for the multiplication and the division, and then we have the operators plus and minus. Okay, so the multiplication is always performed before the addition, so you don't have to break brackets here, parentheses. You don't have to use parentheses. Okay, now let's try to print that sum. See if it equals to the number that we have, the standard output, and let's see there what we have. And as you can see, so it's the exact same answer. So that's 720483. That's the exact same answer. Now the final thing that we have to do, of course, is to get that from the standard input. So I'm gonna print to the user, type in a date, and it must be month, and then the days, and then the year. And then after declaring the date variable, we're gonna get string from the user. We're gonna get the date string. Well, we don't have to make that initial anymore. And now let's test that. So that's 0304, and then that's, well, let's put in the exact same date here to compare the output. So that's 0304 2001. So 03/0, come on, 03/04/2001. And as you can see, it's the exact same answer. So that's 720483. Now, I told you previously that this is the first hard method. Okay, there's a much easier way to do the same problem. Well, basically, after we get the input, we don't have to do all of this manually, since the printf function can do that for us. Or let's say the scanf function can do that for us. So I'm going to delete this lines of code here, and I'm going to use this scanf function. So first of all, let's declare the variables days, months, and year. And then I'm going to use this scanf and tell it that I am going to read an integer, and then oscanf, you're going to find a slash after that, and then I'm gonna read months, and then you're gonna find a slash, so skip that slash, and then I'm gonna read another integer, which is the year, and I'm gonna give it here the days, the months, and the year, and then I'm gonna print the result back. So printf So the days plus the months times 30 plus the years. Well, let's declare that with S. Plus the year times 360. Now let's run that, and let's type in the date. So that's 0, well, it's 0304, 04, and then 2001. Well, it shows me an error in here, and I'm gonna check what's wrong with that. So here, yeah, here don't forget to add the ampersand, because we're sending the addresses of those variables and not the variables themselves. Okay, so let's try that, and let's give it the address again. So that's 2001, sorry. And as you can see, it prints the exact same answer. So that's 720483. So those are the two possible ways to solve this problem. Maybe there are other possible ways. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.